Right, so today we are going to be talking about high performance growth strategies, right? So before I get started, how many of you like high performance? Can I see a show of hands, please? Everyone. Okay, awesome. How many of you like to grow? Yes, so perfect. You're in the right place at the right time. Amazing. All right. So, tell me something. How would you feel if you accomplish a task with great speed, efficiency, and finesse? How would you feel if you accomplish something that you thought you cannot? And if you were to do it consistently, how does that make you feel?
Sounds confident.
Confident?
Sounds more satisfaction. Gives me more satisfaction.
Satisfaction, absolutely.
Refreshment.
Refreshment. Others? Yes. Great answers. Makes you
Move forward.
move forward. You feel like you're progressing. Wonderful. That's right. What about you?
Learn new things.
Learn new things. Okay.
Explore ourselves.
Explore ourselves. Wonderful. So it is definitely a feel-good thing, right? And you feel good about yourself. You feel good about whatever you accomplished, and that would give you a high, right? So I always say you don't have to depend on external things to give you a high. To get a high, it's in your hands. You can always go ahead and achieve what you want, feel good about yourself, and be on top of the world. So that is why I've called this as Get High, how to coach yourself for high performance, and what are some growth strategies that you can easily follow and see how you can be on the path of growth, right? So that's what today's session is about. So let me start off with a real life small story. There's a story about a little boy, right? Now this boy, he was not interested in studies. As a child, he didn't have great ambitions, but he just went along, he was having a good time, finished his school, went on to doing graduation from a, not so popular college in Chennai, okay? And he was just trotting along his life. And then suddenly things started to change for him. Fast forward those few years. What happened to him? He had gone to US. He managed to get into one of the reputed colleges there, completed his MBA. He worked in the US for a few years. And then the company in the US had a branch here in Chennai. So they sent him from US to India as an expatriate. He was on an expat package, which meant he was earning in US dollars, living in Chennai. He was given a beautiful house by the company in one of the posh localities in Chennai. His kids were company sponsored, they were studying in the American school. Everything was set. And it was such a big transformation. Now, how did this actually happen? How did he go on to becoming a corporate executive, right? It was a very big role. He was handling a large team. So how did this transformation happen? This guy, he was very focused. He knew what he wanted. He was a constant learner. He was a quick learner. He established good connections. He built rapport not only with the seniors but also his team members. He aligned himself to the organization goals. And therefore, this transformation from being nobody with no great background to somebody who was well known in the industry, this transformation was happening. Now, if you were to look at how this transformation happened, of course, he took in all those efforts. But I believe you need to get to the root cause. So what was the root cause that created this transformation in him? I believe when he was, just after he was finishing college, he realized few things. He was looked down by his other extended relatives because, the relatives were in a much well-to-do position and their family was not so well-to-do. He was the oldest son. He had the responsibility to manage his family and he hadn't done much. His parents felt ashamed, right? That my son is not somebody who's doing good. So that was something that kind of poked him. And he also realized for himself, he wanted to have a much better lifestyle, right? And he wanted to experience the luxuries in life, and he wanted to lead a life that was a lot more meaningful. And therefore, he started to take the necessary efforts to bring about the transformation he wanted in his life. So that's why I always say, start with why, like Simon Sinek says, right? Start with why. What is your objective? Why is it that you are looking for high performance? How is it going to help you? How is it going to help your career? How are you going to be flourishing through your high performance? Know your why. Because once you know your why, it becomes easier for you to be on the path and achieve what you want. So get to know your why first. That's what I would like to tell you. So we are talking so much about high performance. But what is high performance? What do you think is high performance? Can I hear from you, please?
Doing our best.
Doing your best. Okay, good. More than expected. Wonderful.
Bringing our more potential.
True potential. Yes.
Being consistent.
Being consistent. Exactly.
Quality.
Quality. Yes. Quality in what you do. Absolutely.
Never give up.
Never give up. Yes. Wonderful. All of you said wonderful things. Now, if you're going to define high performance, it is nothing but achieving superior results by performing at a high standard as per set targets. So how is it you're going to achieve superior results from whatever that you're performing, whatever level that you're vibrating and frequency right now? How is it you will be able to achieve better results, right? And it is as per set target. The target can be something that you have set for yourself, or in an organization context, what the organization is setting. So having set targets helps you. It is a driving factor that okay, I'm here right now, I need to go there, right? So that is what is high performance. So let me repeat, it's achieving superior results by performing at a high standard as per set targets. So that is what is high performance. Now, if you were to look at organizations also want high performers. Like we saw in the beginning, everybody said, yes, I want high performance. Organizations are no different. Organization also wants high performers. Now imagine you being a high performer, you working in a high performance team, right? And working for a high performing organization. How would you feel? Refreshed, energized.
That helps us to move further.
Helps you to move, yes. Happy, yes. That's very, very important. Right, absolutely right. So this group, I'm sure most of you would have heard of it, which is the RPG group, right? So I did a 2-day off-site for them, for their All India leadership team on high performance. And why is that? Why is it that organizations look for high performance? It's simply because they believe the culture flows from the top. Now, if you have an organization that has leaders who are high performers, it just flows down. There's a cascading effect. And therefore, organizations are focusing a lot on high performers. They want people who can go and achieve things for them, who are go-getters, who are also go-givers, and achieving the targets, the set targets as an organization, which helps the organization to propel ahead. And therefore, high performance becomes something very important for many organizations. So at an individual level, if you're a high performer, you will be a high performer for the organization, and you have the capacity and the potential to transform the organization into a high performing one. Let me share a little secret. Now, many times, most of us, we have a devil in our mind, right? And the devil is saying, are you actually capable? Can you be a high performer? can you actually really make this? No, probably it's not for me, that person is too good, that person can achieve, may not be. We have this self-doubt, fear, limiting beliefs and all that, right? So to overcome that, let me share a little secret with you. What is that? This is an acronym that I want to share, and easy to remember and to pep yourself up. The thing is, you, Y-O-U, you are outstanding and you are unique. Each of us are bestowed with unique strengths. How are you leveraging on your strengths? Right? That is important. Each of us have unique things. Maybe we haven't even realized, we are yet to discover our own strengths. You will eventually in the process. But if you can discover them, work on it, focus inward, and if you know what it is, then you start leveraging on your uniqueness, and that will help you to be on the path of high performance. Knowing your strengths, leveraging your strengths, and see how you can get better in what you do. That makes a lot of difference. So therefore, I would urge you, you're all born winners already, right? So reminding you that leverage on your strengths. Each of us have a unique potential. So if you know your strengths and channelize your energies in the right direction, that becomes a game changer for you. And once you like what you're doing, it becomes a lot more easier for you, and effortlessly you will automatically be on the path of high performance. So remember that you are outstanding and you are unique, right? So remember that to yourself. So having set this context, let me share some keys, or I'm going to share actually a framework to you for high performance, right? And I would also urge you, this is going to be like a small activity as I take you along. So I would urge you to have a pen and paper, if not, on your mobile, so that you can make notes for yourself. And when you walk out of this session, you have some tangible takeaways for you to chart your path ahead, right? So this is the framework I'm going to share with you. And since we live in an era of a lot of gamification and a lot of gaming, the framework I want to share with you is game, right? Easy to remember, right? And then you can just see how you want to go about gamifying your high performance journey. So what is it? The G stands for the goals to be set. So every little thing that you want to achieve, start with your goals. Once you know your why, then you start with your goals, right? What is it that you want to accomplish in every little thing that you're doing, right? So start with your goals. So how does one go about setting the goals? So for this, I say, you need to have clarity. Your goal shouldn't be something very fuzzy or, I want to get to the next level, whatever. No, be very clear in your goals. So setting your clear goals. Let me share a small example that happened to me. And since this is a LinkedIn Live event, let me share a small incident that happened to me on LinkedIn. Like Navni mentioned, I'm a business and leadership coach. So I'm part of a federation, a global federation called International Coaching Federation, which is based out of the US. So for International Coaching Federation, I wrote a blog. Blog was about the difference between a coach and a mentor. Because coach and mentor are terms that are very, very loosely used. So I just wanted to bring out the highlight. So therefore I wrote this article. This was published in the ICF, their blog, and therefore I published it on LinkedIn as well, saying, this is what I've written. Now this article got me a lot of appreciation from a lot of friends, from strangers, from fellow coaches and many other people, even on LinkedIn. But there was one person on LinkedIn, he commented. He said, this article is not so exhaustive. It talks about coaches, the benefit of coaching and everything, but it doesn't highlight about a mentor and about mentoring. So as soon as I read it, the human mind is such, you may receive hundreds of compliments, but one person says something negative, that's what sticks on to you, and I was no different as well. So that is what I was thinking. I was like, what mistake have I made? Is it really not exhaustive? Have I not covered? And I had all these thoughts and negative questions in my mind. And then suddenly I had an aha moment. The fact was, I realized I am focusing on coaching. The objective of the article was to bring out the benefits of coaching and giving the difference between a mentor. So my focus was on coaching. So why would I be talking about mentoring in that article? And that's when it hit me and I felt really good. So I replied to him. I said, yes, you are right, but this article is focusing on coaching. That's when I got the clarity. So having your clarity will help you, right, in whatever that you're doing. And that was a big personal learning for myself as well, because it's easy to get carried away by what others are saying. But once you have the clarity, you would know what is it that you want to achieve. So get your clarity intact in whatever that you're doing, especially with your goals, right? So that is the importance of clarities. Now, to also come up with your goals, I'm going to share 4 P's that you can focus on what basis, how your goals should be. The first is personalize your goals. It shouldn't be like, my friend wants to do this and achieve this and therefore I want to do it. It's not going to help you greatly. So personalize what is specific for you. The second P is being practical. Whatever goals you want to achieve, it should be something realistic and doable. Of course, like they say, big, hairy, audacious goals that you need to have, but are they practical or are you just, dreaming about having something great? So check for that. The third P is your progress. How are you progressing? You should have some yardsticks. Yes, let's say your goal is to achieve whatever, 2x, 3x in the next 1 year, for example. But how are you going to be placed, let's say 6 months down the line, right? So check what are your bases for progress. Because it shouldn't be that you wake up at the end of 1 year and then say, oh, I was supposed to achieve this and I haven't managed to do it. But whereas if you have some yardsticks to measure your progress, periodically you would know where you stand and you'll be able to evaluate yourself. And of course the last P, the driving factor, is your passion. Are you really passionate about your growth strategy? So if you have the passion is what fuels you to achieve more, right? So think about these 4 P's when you're coming up with your goals, right? So now I would like you to take a moment and reflect and probably write down for yourself what your goals are. What is it you would like to achieve? Let's say 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever time frame that you're looking at. So reflect, and I would urge you to make a note of your goals. What is it that you want to achieve? It could be in your career, in your profession, whatever that you want to achieve. Your career progression, your business progression, right? Probably you can even be that I want to be a better person. It can even be something like I want to lose X kgs in 6 months, whatever, anything, any particular goal. And it is important to have goals because without a goal you're like a headless chicken, you don't know which way and you're just losing time, effort and your money probably, just helter-skelter going everywhere. So think about it and I would urge you to write your goals down. So let's move on with the framework. Yeah, and before that, this is a WhatsApp community that I run. I call it Fly High, which is finance, leadership, and your high performance, because I believe all these 3 are something very, very important for your growth. So you can scan it, and if you want, you can join. There are no messages. It's only admin posting every day. It's just 1 message a day. And of course, if you like the messages, feel free to react to them. So that is wanted to share. So moving on with the framework, G is the goals, and A is your action plan. Now you have set your goals. So how are you going to go about achieving your goals, right? So that is something you need to take time, strategize and plan accordingly so that your goal is not something, a dream that is written, but you're actually taking action towards making your goals come true. So for this, let me again share a little story. So this is about a client of mine, a coaching client of mine, a highly driven and focused business leader. This person was working for a large global multinational. And the person was so focused on the career growth that they wanted. And I'm so impressed that I want to share with you the kind of strategies that were adopted. The person was very clear to say that in the next 3 years, I need to be heading the Asia Pacific region of my organization. Now, this was a goal that the person had set. So every time the person was offered a promotion, a good promotion, even a good salary hike, the person would take a pause and think, by accepting this promotion, is it actually taking me closer to my goals or not? If yes, the person would accept the promotion. If no, they would say, no, let me wait. I would rather take up the right opportunity that will help me achieve my goal easily and quickly. And would also take necessary efforts. Network within the organization. Reach out to their counterparts overseas, right? Because the person is based in India and wants to head APAC. So, establish the right network within the organization. Have a good rapport with colleagues. Work with some mentors, work with coaches like me, and to see how the person can get better at what they do. So they had very clear action plan that would help them achieve, closer to their goals and achieve their goals within the set time frame. So like that, you need to come up with your action plan. What is it what actions, what steps will take you closer? So again, I would like you to take a moment and make a note for yourself. Where are you right now? And where is it that you would like to go? And of course, what actions you need to take for that. Right? I'll give you a moment. Just think about it and make some notes for yourself. I really like the fact that all of you are thinking so deeply. Yes, and some of you have finished. The others can complete it post the session as well. We will move on. Yes, these are my social media handles. My brand moniker is the Gain Enabler, so I'm happy to connect with all of you. Of course, I'm active on LinkedIn. You can scan the code. We can connect on LinkedIn, and I'm also, I keep posting videos on YouTube on finance, leadership, high performance, and all of those. Apart from, of course, some of my travel stuff as well. So feel free to connect and subscribe. Instagram, whatever, on social media, you'll find me as the Gain Enabler. Right, so we saw about the goals, we saw about the action plan. What is M in the game? That is nothing but to master challenges. Now, of course, we have our goals, we know what action we need to take, but we always have some challenges coming in the way, right? Some expected, some unexpected. So how do we go about working around these challenges? So as a coach, what I've realized is, some challenges are pretty common amongst many people, irrespective of what background, the years of experience and all that. So I've just picked up 3 of these common challenges, right, which I'm going to share with you on how you can actually go about mastering it. So the first one, the usual, I don't have the time. I'm too busy, right? It's very common, right? We also tell ourselves, we tell others also, no, I really don't have the time for this, right? So, but if you want to be on the path and, grow yourself and be a high performer, you need to see how you can make the time. So I would urge you to think and listen, what is it you're telling yourself? Like, I'll give you a small example of another coaching client of mine. So the person had set some specific goals they wanted to achieve. But, we used to have every follow-up session each month, and then, then I would check on the progress. The person would say, oh, yeah, this happened, that happened, and therefore I didn't have time, and therefore I couldn't complete. And I started seeing that pattern. So I said, what's happening? And they said, yeah, no, I don't have time. So then you need to weigh, get your priorities right. Maybe something else is more important, possible. But if you're keeping excuses time and again, repetitively, then probably you're not fully aligned. Maybe you haven't bought into your goals yourself. So think about that and see how you can manage your time better, because if something is truly important for you, you put that first, right? Then other things will automatically find place. So listen to what your inner voice, what are you telling? You may say, yes, I want to do this, but let me go for a movie today because my friends are there, right? I'm not saying it's wrong, but how are you prioritizing? Obviously, if you put other things ahead, then you're not going to find time. So think about that. The second thing is surprising, but it is communication. A very big challenge, even for senior leaders, is what I have experienced as a coach. I'll give you this another example of another coaching client of mine who's very, very good in the technical knowledge. Very well known, everybody would go to him, ask doubts, ask questions and everything. The organization wanted to promote him as a C-suite leader because technically he had all the qualities. But what was actually preventing was his lack of efficient communication. He couldn't communicate properly. He would have all the ideas in his mind, but he would fumble, he wouldn't answer to the point, he wouldn't make his presence felt in a meeting, right? He didn't have the executive presence, the leadership presence was lacking, communication style was absolutely pathetic. If colleagues from the other departments would come and, request something, he wouldn't give the right solution, meaning not intentionally, but, he wouldn't express it properly. So there would be unwanted conflicts within the teams, and everything was stemming down because of lack of poor communication. It was because of poor communication. And therefore, the organization wanted me to coach him on getting better at communicating as well as developing his leadership presence. So you see, that was actually a roadblock for him in his career, though he was technically very sound. So therefore, developing your communication skills becomes very, very important, because end of the day, I always say, any transaction or any business that happens, be it small, be it big, it's between people. And how does it happen between people? Through communication. So how effectively are you communicating is something that you need to think about. And the third is to step out of your comfort zone. You're all so happy within our comfort zone, but if you want that magic to happen in your life, in your growth, you need to step out of your comfort zone. That's very, very important. I'll share my own example, right? I've been in the corporate for more than 25 years. plus job. I was very happy. But I said I need to do something on my own, because my thought was, if I can contribute to the success of one organization, how can I scale myself? While I had the thought, while I got my coaching done, I started authoring books and everything was intact, I lacked the courage to step out of my comfort zone. I was telling myself, I'll do it. One day I'll do it. But when was that one day? It was never happening, because I was huddled up in my comfort zone. And then I realized, if this is a goal that I want to pursue, then I need to push myself and step out of the comfort zone. And therefore, if you want magic to happen in your life, push yourself. Nobody else can push you. Only you have to push yourself and step out of the comfort zone to achieve and get whatever you want in your growth path. So step out of your comfort zone. By doing just these 3 things, it will help you to grow. These are like very basics. Of course, you may have some other challenges as well, but these are 3 things that I have seen is pretty common amongst a lot of people. So see how you can work around it, either telling yourself, having an accountability partner, mentor, or working with coaches like me, whatever that needs to be done, but go ahead and take the required action. So again, I'd like you to reflect. What are the challenges that you foresee in your growth? And how are you planning to work around it? Right? I'll give you a moment. Please think about it and make some notes for yourself. Okay, good. Since you guys have been amazing audience, here is a little gift for you. You can scan the QR code and you'll get a free chapter of my book, Get High, How to Coach Yourself for High Performance in Your Work. The book has been endorsed by Marshall Goldsmith, who's a New York Times bestseller, and few other industry experts as well. So you can, scan it and you can download, I think, a couple of chapters. So feel free to use those frameworks for your high performance and for your growth. Right, so let's continue with the game. So we saw the goals, your action plans, master challenges, and E is your excellence delivery. Right? Now you have your goals, you know what your action plan is, you overcome your challenges, but more important is how are you delivering it. Yeah? It has to be excellent, right? It's not that it's something haphazard, because high performance is all about getting better and giving your very best consistently as well, right? So therefore, how are you going about achieving excellence in what you're doing? So again, let me share a little real life story out here. This business leader I was coaching was a group CFO of a large corporate, right? And the person realized the next level for his growth would be to be the executive director of the group. So to get to that level, which meant taking up more responsibilities, being more involved in the business perspective, coming up with necessary strategies for business growth, and taking full charge, right? So this was his goal. And for that to do, he realized that, he would like to work with a coach. And that's how our engagement started. So during the process, he had a lot of awareness on what his gaps were. So he said, yes, this is where, what I really want to do, but I know I need to improve in my ABCD areas. So he was able to identify those areas, and that's when he realized it would be good to work with a coach and get the external support and help. So therefore, for you to achieve the excellence in whatever that you're doing, what are your gaps, right? So that is what I would like you to think about. What are the gaps that you think needs to be bridged so that your excellence is there even better than what you imagined, right? So for your growth strategy, what are the gaps? Yes, there it is. So what are the gaps that you wish to bridge in your growth journey? So by identifying the gaps, it becomes easier for you to start working on those areas. And by thinking, how can I fix these gaps? So please, I would urge you to think about it, make notes for yourself so that you can take the right action plans for that.
How we know that where is our gaps? We are thinking, but sometimes we don't know what is the...
Yes, so by thinking, firstly, that's the first step, right? Second could be like comparing yourself with peers who have been there, who have done that. How did they manage to go? So you can set yourself some benchmarks. So by having those benchmarks, you will know, okay, I need to, let's say, improve on my communication, for example, right? Or it can be that I need to upskill myself further. And therefore you go and either enroll in a course or, taking action on bridging those little things that will make the difference for you to take the leap. So start thinking and working on that by knowing what is it that you need to bridge. Right? So that is the game framework which I would urge you to think about. And I just thought I will also share with you my other books. This Nightingale is not a book by me, but it's been written by my CA professors. It's an amazing story. It's about the life journey of 11 chartered accountant women. Of course, yours truly is also included there. So it's very inspiring read. It talks about change, choice, chance, and change. So it's a free download on Kindle. You can, if you're into reading books and want to get inspired, to read it. And of course, my first book is called A Glance at the Unknown, which is a spiritual thriller. What the Finance is a national bestseller. Get High is what I spoke to you about. And Where's the Moolah is about financial growth hacking for business profitability. All these books, the hard and soft copy, are available on Amazon. So if you would like to read, I would encourage you to go and get it. Of course, so this is what I do. I work on maximizing potential, performance, and profits. And I also run growth-oriented, accelerated coaching programs, and that's my coordinate. So in case you or anybody in your work environment is interested, happy to support on your growth journey. So before we conclude, I'd like to share something on high performance. And this is another little framework. So we've seen all of this. So for you to stay on the path of high performance and achieve what you want, right? So here is a little hack. What is that? It's an acronym again. L is to learn, right? The more you learn, the more mastery you achieve in whatever that you're doing. So start learning whatever is of interest to you. It could be in your domain, or if you want to pivot and shift to some other domain as well, start thinking about it and start learning as much as you want. I is to inspire, right? What is it that inspires you? Because if something is inspiring you, then it becomes easier for you to learn and grow. So think about what can inspire you. F is focus. In whatever you do, you need to have a good amount of focus, right? Because when you're focused, stuff starts to happen automatically and a much faster rate. So there is your focus. And E is to see how you can excel in whatever that you're doing. So that is what life is all about, right? You learn, inspire, focus, and excel in what you do. So that is going to help you in achieving your high performance in your growth journey. So lastly, it's very, very easy for all of us to come up with excuses. It's so, I had to do this, I had to go here, I didn't have time, I had to meet somebody, they had some visitors at home, my boss gave me a lot of work, right? It's always easy to come up with different excuses. But to bid goodbye to excuses, believe in yourself. B is to believe in yourself. I is to invest in your growth, right? Because I always say for maximum returns, invest in yourself. So see how you're investing. And D is to have the drive. When you have the drive to achieve, despite whatever obstacles, whatever challenges that come in my way, I have the drive to achieve. That's when you bid goodbye to your excuses, right? So believe, invest, and drive yourself. So say goodbye to excuses, because no matter where you are, you have the ability to grow. So keep growing simply because you can, right? So all the very best to all of you in your growth path, and I'm wishing you a lot of success and high performance in your growth journey. Thank you.